Today we're taking a look at these NFL matches, which are happening on Monday, December 5, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. Also, check out our perks and join the High Stakes membership. Joining the High Stakes membership is easy, is cheap, but it will help a lot in the growth process of this channel. Plus, if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. By becoming a member of the High Stakes Patreon, you will have access to our best team picks, total picks, parlay picks and much more. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting predictions that ends up costing you a lot of time and money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comments section below. And make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Tampa Bay Buccaneers vs New Orleans Saints. Despite their recent tough stretch and their last place standing in the NFC South, the New Orleans Saints still have a shot at the division crown in the underachieving NFC South. At just 4-8, the Saints are still just 2 games in back of the Bucs heading into this matchup. This is likely a must-win game for the Saints, however, if they plan on staying in the hunt. Last week, the Saints were shut out for the first time since 2001. It was the 4th longest streak in NFL history. Andy Dalton threw for 204 yards in the loss, while the Saints' ground game was held in check with just 63 yards on the ground. The Saints missed a field goal, and Alvin Kamara fumbled twice, including one near the goal line in the 4th quarter. It has been an uneven year for a Saints team that usually thrives because of their offense. The Saints are just 20th in scoring offense thus far on the season, as they battle through a slew of injuries to key offensive pieces. The Saints are ranked just 22nd rushing the football and are 11th in passing. Perhaps most importantly of all, the Saints are dead last in the NFL in turnover margin this season, with a -1.2 turnover differential. New Orleans is tied for 30th in the league in interceptions thrown per game. The Bucs have been painfully streaky this season. They started the season with 2 straight wins, followed by 2 straight losses, and after 3-game losing streak mid-season, the Bucs reeled off 2 straight wins before traveling to Cleveland. In a game that seemed to favor the Bucs coming off a bye, the Browns rallied and forced overtime before winning it on a 3-yard run by Nick Chubb with 19 seconds left in overtime. The Bucs had their chances in overtime, but couldn't put together a winning drive. Tom Brady threw 2 touchdowns in the game, but was unable to get anything generated in the overtime despite multiple possessions. Despite their struggles on offense, the Bucs do not turn the ball over at nearly the rate the Saints have this season. While it is certainly a must-win for the Saints to keep their slim playoff hopes alive, you can argue it is even more important for Brady and the Bucs to get a win here to gain some momentum as they try to secure the NFC South. While the injury to Wirfs is concerning both in terms of the Bucs' ability to run the ball and protect Brady, Leonard Fournette returns to strengthen the Bucs' backfield and give Brady more options in the passing game. The Saints have decided to stick with Andy Dalton, it appears, but the veteran signal caller has not rewarded their faith. He has struggled with turnovers and has certainly suffered from a lack of a consistent running game. Both teams are laboring, but the Bucs have more weapons and certainly more incentive and hope of winning this game. I like this line for the Bucs at slightly over a field goal after starting out at almost a touchdown. Take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers -3.5 points. The New Orleans Saints have had problems at quarterback all season due to injuries and poor play, and that has resulted in the Saints scoring an average of 20.8 points per game. New Orleans is rushing for an average of 113.2 yards and passing for an average of 234.1 yards for a total of 347.3 yards per game of total offense, which is 15th. Andy Dalton has 23 yards passing with 14 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Alvin Kamara has rushed for a team-best 524 yards with just 1 touchdown, and Chris Olave has 56 receptions for 822 yards with 3 touchdowns. New Orleans continues to feel the lack of Michael Thomas on the field as the wideout is once again on injured reserve. Tampa Bay is scoring an average of 18.2 points per game, which is 27th in the NFL. The Buccaneers have the worst running attack in all of the NFL, averaging 73.0 yards per game, but have the fifth best passing attack at 266.1 yards per game. Tampa Bay is averaging 339.1 yards per game of total offense, which is 18th. Tom Brady has 51 yards passing with 14 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions. Leonard Fournette is expected to play this week and has rushed for a team-best 462 yards with 3 touchdowns. Mike Evans has 51 receptions for 702 yards and 3 touchdowns. Tampa Bay has 4 rushing and 14 passing touchdowns. New Orleans is allowing an average of 23.3 points per game, which is 20th in the NFL. The Saints are allowing an average of 129.1 yards rushing and 197.3 yards passing, for a total of 326.4 yards per game, which is 12th best in the NFL. The 197.3 yards passing per game that New Orleans is allowing is 7th best. The New Orleans defense is led in tackles by Pete Werner with 74, but the linebacker is questionable for Monday. The leader in quarterback sacks with 6.5 is linebacker Demario Davis, and the leader in interceptions with 2 is Tyrann Mathieu. Tampa Bay's defense is allowing a total of 315.2 yards per game, which is 9th best. The Buccaneers are allowing 123.2 yards rushing and only 192.0 yards passing per game, which is 6th in the NFL. The Buccaneers are allowing only 18.5 points per game, which is 6th. The leading tackler for Tampa Bay is Devin White. The linebacker has 89 tackles and also has 5.5 quarterback sacks. The leader in quarterback sacks with 6.5 is Vita Vea. The leaders in interceptions for Tampa Bay are safety Mike Edwards and quarterback Jamel Dean with 2 each. New Orleans missed a 39-yard field goal, lost a fumble on the 1-yard line, and turned the ball over on downs inside the 5-yard line. Veteran QB Andy Dalton threw for 204 yards, and rookie WR Chris Olave added 5 catches for 62 yards. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have split their first 6 home games and are averaging just 18.2 points per contest. 45-year-old QB Tom Brady has thrown for 3.051 yards, but has just 14 touchdowns through 11 games. On Sunday, Tampa Bay surrendered a game-tying touchdown with 32 seconds remaining during a 23-17 overtime loss at Cleveland. WR Chris Godwin led the Tampa Bay offensive attack with 12 receptions for 110 yards and a 10-yard touchdown. Brady threw a 5-yard touchdown pass to Ko Kieft, and Rashad White rushed for a team-high 64 yards on 14 carries. As previously mentioned, Tampa Bay is scoring an average of 18.2 points per game and allowing an average of 18.5 points per game, while New Orleans scores an average of 20.8 points per game and allows an average of 23.3 points per game. The total has finished under in 4 of the last 5 played by New Orleans and in each of Tampa Bay's last 3, as well as in 6 of the Buccaneers' last 7. Take under 40 points.